The NFJ is not just a personality type. It's a specific, measurable neurological reality. Why do you feel everything so damn deeply while analyzing it all at the same time? Why do you crave meaning more than pleasure, and why does social interaction sometimes feel like a full-blown system overload? You, my INFJ friend, are not imagining it. There's a reason your inner world feels louder than the outer one. There's a reason you can walk into a room and sense what's unspoken before anyone says a word. This video goes beyond personality theory. We're diving into the neuroscience, the wiring behind the INFJ mind. Studies on brain function have revealed that INFJs possess a unique pattern of activity, a deeply interconnected network between the default mode network, where introspection, imagination, and intuition live, and the empathy circuits, the regions tied to emotional resonance and social prediction. In simple terms, you don't just think, you feel your thoughts. You don't just observe, you become what you observe. Your brain runs on integration, not separation. It connects everything, memory, emotion, meaning, into one giant living pattern. That's why you can sense the direction of a relationship before it happens, or why you can pick up emotional vibrations in others that they can't even feel yet. It's beautiful. But it's also exhausting, because your brain doesn't come with an off switch. And here's the kicker. This same neural wiring that gives you empathy, insight, and depth also makes you prone to burnout, overstimulation, and existential fatigue. You see too much, feel too much, know too much, and sometimes wish you could just stop. But you can't, because this is your genius and your burden. So let's take a deep dive, you and I. Let's explore the inner workings of this rare, exquisite mind, not to fix it, but to finally understand it. Because when you understand the way your brain is wired, you stop fighting it. You start flowing with it, and that's when the real magic happens. My INFJ friend, I'd love to hear your thoughts as we go through this journey. Do you ever feel like your brain runs on a different frequency? Leave a comment. I read and reply to each one personally. And if this resonates, share it with another INFJ who needs to understand that their depth isn't a flaw, it's biology, beautifully expressed. Exploring the brain regions that make INFJs both visionary and vulnerable. The INFJ brain lights up differently. In fMRI studies, researchers found unusual synchronization between the frontal lobe, the visionary planner, and the limbic system, the emotional core. Translation? You don't separate logic from feeling, you merge them. You see patterns not through cold deduction but through emotional logic. Your empathy becomes data. Your intuition becomes strategy. But here's the double edge. This same connectivity makes you hyper-aware. Every shift in tone, every flicker in someone's expression, your brain logs it, maps it, interprets it. You're not paranoid, you're perceptive. But constant perception comes with a cost: overstimulation. Your nervous system operates like a high-sensitivity radar. You pick up frequencies most people tune out. It's what makes you visionary, but also why you crave solitude. When has your sensitivity given you foresight? And when has it felt like too much to carry? 2. Why INFJs don't chase dopamine, they chase meaning. Most people's brains light up for dopamine, the thrill of novelty, status, or reward. Yours, it lights up for serotonin and oxytocin, the neurochemicals of meaning, purpose, and connection. That's why shallow conversations feel like starvation. That's why pretending exhausts you faster than running a marathon. You crave the chemical calm that comes from alignment. When your actions match your values, your brain releases peace. When you betray yourself, even a little, your whole system revolts. It's not about being dramatic. It's biological integrity. And that's what makes you magnetic. You're wired for authenticity in a world addicted to distraction. What brings your mind peace? Not pleasure, but true inner alignment. 3. The neurological reason INFJs withdraw when overwhelmed. When the INFJ brain is overstimulated, it doesn't break down, it shuts down, not because you're weak, not because you can't handle life, but because your nervous system is wired like a supercomputer, and sometimes too many tabs are open. You feel everything: the tension in the room, the unspoken disappointment in someone's eyes, the subtle shift in energy that no one else even notices. And your brain, with its overdeveloped empathy circuits, tries to process it all. Your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, fires faster and stronger than most. Every emotion, every conflict, every stimulus feels magnified. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the rational, pattern-seeking part of your brain, races to make sense of it all. It tries to analyze, organize, and soothe the storm. But when those emotional signals come faster than your brain can integrate them, the circuit floods. That's when you reach your limit. And instead of exploding outward like some types might, you implode inward, quietly, gracefully, retreating into yourself. That withdrawal isn't weakness. It's a neurological reset, a sacred recalibration. You're not running away from the world, you're returning home to yourself. Silence isn't an escape. It's a form of self-respect. Solitude isn't selfish, it's neurological hygiene. You're clearing your system of emotional noise, rebalancing neurotransmitters, and letting your brain restore coherence between emotion and logic. You can literally feel the moment it starts to work. The fog clears, your breathing slows, and you begin to make sense of what felt impossible to name before. It's not laziness. It's maintenance, the same way a highly sensitive instrument needs tuning. And yet, how many times have you felt guilty for needing that space? For not replying fast enough? For saying, I just need time alone? The world glorifies noise, speed, and social performance. But your brain isn't built for that bullshit. Your brain is built for meaning, integration, and truth. So when you withdraw, you're not hiding, you're healing. You're gathering yourself so that when you reemerge, you can bring clarity instead of chaos, depth instead of reaction. That's the infj way. But here's the tricky part. When your mind finally gets quiet, another voice often shows up. That inner critic. You know, the one that whispers, you're too sensitive, you should be stronger, you're failing by needing rest. That voice isn't truth, it's conditioning. It's the residue of years of feeling misunderstood, of being told you're too much or too quiet. If you've ever struggled with that inner dialogue, that relentless self-judgment that eats away at your peace, I wrote something that might help you. It's a book called Get Out of Your Head, available in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook on Amazon. Get your copy now, the link is available on the description below. In it, we explore how to silence that nagging inner voice that drags you down, keeps you stuck, and convinces you that rest equals failure. It's not just about mindset, it's about retraining your neural patterns, learning how to stop your inner critic, and building habits that help you live from grounded strength instead of survival. We go deep into things like overcoming fear and self-limiting beliefs, cultivating positive lifestyle habits, including meditation and reflection, shifting from self-criticism to self-compassion, moving forward into the strongest, most peaceful version of yourself. Because here's the truth, your mind isn't your enemy. It's your most powerful ally once you learn how to quiet the noise and listen to what it's really trying to tell you. You have the power to change the entire trajectory of your life with a few small shifts. You can train your brain to rest without guilt, to process without pain, and to create from peace instead of pressure. So the next time you feel the urge to disappear, don't apologize for it. Honor it. Because that's your system doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect your peace, preserve your clarity, and prepare you to rise again. What does your version of reboot look like? And how often do you allow yourself to do it without guilt? And if you're ready to dig deeper into the inner architecture of your thoughts, to silence that voice that tells you're not enough, check out my book, Get Out of Your Head. I promise it's a journey that meets you where you are and helps you step into who you're meant to be. For how your brain's empathy center can be a source of both power and pain. Your brain wasn't built for small talk, it was built for soul talk. That's because your mirror neuron system, the region scientists call the empathy hub, is lit up like a city at night. It doesn't just observe emotion, it recreates it. When someone cries, your body releases the same chemicals as theirs. When someone laughs, your nervous system mirrors their joy. You don't imagine people's pain, you inhabit it. That's the double-edged sword of being an INFJ. Your compassion is biological, not performative. You're wired to feel first, think second. You can enter another person's emotional atmosphere and breathe their air as if it's your own. That's the reason people tell you things they've never spoken out loud before. It's why you sense truth in half-finished sentences. It's why you can look into someone's eyes and feel their entire backstory before they say a word. You walk through the world as an emotional tuning fork. Every vibration, joy, grief, anxiety, love, hits you and reverberates through your nervous system. That resonance is your superpower? It's what makes you the healer, the counselor, the quiet leader people instinctively trust. But it's also the source of your deepest exhaustion. Because when you embody everything, you start to forget where you end and others begin. You absorb sadness that isn't yours. You carry guilt that doesn't belong to you. You internalize tension that you never created. And little by little, your sense of self becomes blurred, like a watercolor painting left out in the rain. Your empathy, when untrained, becomes emotional osmosis. You don't just understand others, you become them. This is why INFJs sometimes feel like they're reliving in two worlds at once, the outer world of constant feeling, and the inner world where they try to sort it all out. Your body becomes the battlefield for emotions that were never meant to stay. But here's where the power shifts. The goal isn't to shut your empathy off. That's impossible. It's written into your neural circuitry. The goal is to train it. To feel without fusing. To sense without suffering. This means consciously differentiating between your emotions and someone else's, an internal boundary that begins with awareness. When you feel sudden anxiety, pause and ask, is this mine or did I just absorb it? When you feel a heaviness after being around certain people, don't shame yourself for being sensitive. That's data. Your nervous system is giving you feedback. Empathy doesn't have to be a flood. It can be a channel. You can learn to let emotion move through you, not into you. When you master that, your empathy transforms from a sponge into a mirror that reflects emotion back with clarity and compassion, without distortion or depletion. This is emotional intelligence at its highest frequency, to witness pain without drowning in it, to walk into chaos and remain centered, to love deeply without losing yourself. And it's not coldness, it's conscious empathy. Because when you protect your boundaries, your compassion becomes more potent, not less. Your energy becomes medicine instead of martyrdom. And that's what the world needs from you, not another empath who burns out, but one who burns bright. The truth is, your mirror neuron system isn't your weakness. It's the neurological reflection of your purpose. You were designed to translate emotion into meaning, to bridge human disconnection through understanding. But even the most powerful healer needs rest. Even the most open heart needs walls that keep it safe. So, the next time you start to feel everything all at once, pause. Breathe. Visualize emotion flowing through you like water through a stream. You're not meant to hold it, you're meant to purify it and let it pass. Because your empathy, when guided by awareness, becomes wisdom. And your wisdom, when shared without depletion, becomes healing. 5. The science behind the constant tension between intuition and empathy. The INFJ brain is always balancing two powerful forces. Intuition, driven by the right hemisphere and prefrontal integration, and empathy, driven by mirror neurons and limbic activation. Intuition sees the pattern. Empathy feels the pain. And sometimes they clash. Your intuition may whisper, walk away, while your empathy pleads, stay and help. That's the INFJ paradox, foresight versus compassion. But here's the truth, both are sacred. Your challenge is to let them dance, not duel. To use empathy as input and intuition as direction. When they align, you don't just understand people, you heal them through presence and clarity. That's not softness. That's mastery. How can you honor both your empathy and your intuition without letting one silence the other? So my INFJ friend, now you know you are not too much. You are precisely wired. Every depth you've ever been shamed for has a purpose. Every emotion you've ever overanalyzed has meaning. Every moment you felt different wasn't a flaw. It was evidence of a design few will ever understand. Because your depth has structure. Your sensitivity has a science. Your soul has circuitry. You were never random. You were engineered for resonance. Your brain doesn't just think. It feels in algorithms. It decodes human behavior, processes emotional data, and weaves logic and love into a single thread of knowing. That's why life feels louder for you. That's why crowds drain you and silence heals you. You are constantly downloading the world, pattern by pattern, frequency by frequency. Remember the question we began with? Why do you feel everything so deeply while analyzing it all at the same time? It's because your inner world isn't chaos, it's an ecosystem. Your empathy and intuition are not opposites. They're partners in a divine equation. Your mind absorbs, interprets, and transforms emotion into insight. You are both scientist and mystic, logic and light, decoding reality from both sides of the veil. Most people live on the surface of experience. You map it. You walk into a room and feel the tension before words are spoken. You read silence as fluently as others read speech. And though it's exhausting, it's also extraordinary. Because while others see the world in pieces, you see it in patterns. You don't chase dopamine, you chase meaning. And that's what makes you dangerous in the best way. Your perception cuts through illusion, your insight disarms deception. You can see through masks, including your own, and that's a kind of power this world rarely rewards but deeply needs. So stop apologizing for your intensity. Stop shrinking your light so others feel comfortable in their shadows. Stop labeling your awareness as overthinking. It's not fragility, it's finely tuned awareness. It's what makes you the rarest kind of genius, a heart that thinks, and a mind that feels. You live between frequencies most people will never even hear, and that's okay. You weren't born to blend in with static. You were born to translate it into symphony. But even the most beautiful instrument needs care. So, take care of yours. Rest when the noise gets too loud. Retreat without guilt when your circuits flood. Protect your peace like sacred technology, because that's exactly what it is. Your solitude isn't weakness. It's maintenance. Your boundaries aren't walls. They're calibration lines. And your reflection isn't indulgence. It's how you fine-tune your frequency to stay clear in a world of distortion. Because here's the truth. Your brain isn't broken. It's beautiful. It's the meeting point of empathy and intelligence. The sacred architecture of a soul that refuses to separate wisdom from compassion. So when the world calls you too sensitive, too deep, too intense, smile. Because they're only describing the parts of you they don't yet understand. You are not fragile glass. You are lightning in a vessel. You are not overwhelmed by emotion. You are fluent in it. And you are not lost. You are processing. That's what INFJs do. You take chaos and translate it into coherence. You take suffering and turn it into meaning. You take pain and alchemize it into purpose. That's not madness. That's mastery. So walk gently, my friend, but never small. Let your empathy be your compass, not your cage. Let your intuition be your map, not your prison. And let your understanding, that sacred blend of heart and intellect, be the bridge that connects human beings back to themselves. Because that's your true calling, not to fix everyone, not to save the world, but to reveal it. To reflect the unseen through your words, your presence, your quiet power. You are not here to fit in. You are here to illuminate.